In June 2015, Donald Trump descended on a golden escalator in Trump Tower accompanied by his glamorous immigrant wife Melania. He announced his unlikely candidacy for president with a rambling speech claiming Mexico was sending rapists across the border and promising to make America great again. The political novice and fading reality TV star was initially laughed off by the media and GOP establishment. But his populist rhetoric and barnstorming rallies soon attracted a loyal following of aggrieved working-class whites feeling left behind in a rapidly changing America. On the campaign trail, Trump hurled schoolyard-like insults at rivals like low-energy Jeb and Little Marco. He stirred controversy calling for Muslims to be banned from entering the U.S. and claiming Mexico would pay for a border wall. Then came the bombshell Access Hollywood tape in which Trump bragged in vulgar terms about groping women without consent. In debates with Hillary Clinton, Trump tried to intimidate his opponent by hovering behind her as she spoke. His rambling responses were light on substance and policy but heavy on simplistic slogans like "lock her up." In the end, his message resonated with enough blue-collar voters to squeak out an electoral college victory. At his inauguration in January 2017, Trump spoke ominously of American carnage, while vowing to put America first. Press Secretary Sean Spicer later shouted at reporters that the crowd was the largest audience to ever witness an inauguration, period. Aerial photos of the half-empty National Mall told a very different story. In the early days, Trump held a rambling 77-minute press conference with stacks of manila folders piled high on a table supposedly containing documents transferring his business holdings into a blind trust. Ethics experts saw through the ruse, noting his sons were placed in charge and Trump could withdraw funds at any time. Trump proceeded to install family members as advisors in the White House, including daughter Ivanka and son-in-law Jared Kushner. He brought in cabinet officials devoted more to dismantling regulations than fulfilling agency missions. Multiple members of his campaign and administration would end up convicted of crimes ranging from lying to the FBI like former Air Force General Mike Flynn to conspiracy against the United States. On policy, Trump governed more like an autocrat than a traditional Republican. He alienated Democratic allies while embracing dictators like Putin. Kim Jong-un of North Korea, not a country previous presidents wanted to spend any time on diplomacy with, and the disgraced leader of Saudi Arabia, whom Trump rewarded with this first state visit, despite the country and its leader being suspected of the death of Jamal Khashoggi. When COVID-19 emerged in early 2020, Trump dismissed the threat, pushed unproven cures like hydroxychloroquine, and tried shifting blame to China. As deaths spiraled, Trump fixated on TV ratings while downplaying the need for masks and medical supplies. By election day, over 230,000 Americans would be dead. As Black Lives Matter protests swept the nation in the wake of police killings, Trump had peaceful protesters tear-gassed so he could hold up a Bible for a photo op. He refused to condemn white supremacists, telling the Proud Boys to stand back and stand by. In the end, Trump's bungled response to overlapping crises would prove his downfall. With over 400,000 Americans dead from COVID-19, the economy in shambles, and social unrest roiling the nation, voters finally said "you're fired" to the bombastic reality TV star who was disastrously out of his depth as president. Team Normal was back in charge in Washington. We here at Brick by Brick, Constructing President Donald J. Trump, aim to take a fact-based look at the Trump presidency. While using Lego to reconstruct the story, in episodes we're calling Bricks in Trump's Wall. This multi-part frontline investigation will educate and remind and remember just what kind of president Donald J. Trump really was, where he stood on the issues and what values motivated him as a man and as a politician. This Frontline PBS, parody broadcasting system, presentation is completely a rip-off of the top-notch investigative program. We apologize to Frontline in advance.